Good day, everyone. Meteorologist Mark Molnar here. Thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's weather. Yes, we have a few systems out here in the Atlantic, a 30% chance through day 7 with our Cape Verde system, and then towards the Lesser Antilles, 10% chance through day 7. So we're going to take a look and see what the models have in store for us here. The European model, anyways, is blowing up a couple of area of low pressures here, and we're going to explore just how strong these storms could get into the eastern Pacific. Look what we got going on over here. We have Fernanda, major hurricane at one point, and then we also have Greg. We're going to see what the impacts could be on Hawaii here. And we're going to take a look at the western Pacific, where we still have Tropical Storm Lan, but we actually could have some bigger storms forming behind that. And is this stubborn pattern here going to continue in the east with this massive trough? Well, it does look like it, at least through much of August here. Look at this as we get towards the weekend into early next week. Will it continue? And what is this feature off the west coast of the United States? Is this a hurricane or tropical storm coming up towards south part of California? We'll explore all that as well. Let's get into it. So here in the Atlantic, yeah, things are going to get pretty interesting here. Let's start from the very beginning here. So essentially here we have these two areas. These areas you can see pretty much this first area, it's back here, and then the second area is coming off of the Cape Verde Islands. Now, essentially what's going to happen here as we could progress in time, let's go along the time scale here. So we go through August 17th here, the 18th. This initial system doesn't look all that impressive. You can see it's showing up here on the European model a little bit north of where the actual outline is, and this is actually towards the 19th. And then we have our other area, which is likely to become, a tropical storm, or at least a depression by that point. So at this point, you can see, you see this rough outline of high pressure here, although it doesn't look like much of high pressure here because we have some moisture kind of stuck up here as well. So it is a weak high pressure system, and that eventually should allow these systems to go a little bit towards the north. Now, this is kind of puzzling what the European model is doing with these two. It's actually combining forces. So I have not seen this on the previous runs, but is this going to combine and become one big storm? And then look what forms behind it. There's another system here towards the 23rd. So yeah, things are going to really start picking up here. The European model is doing some very weird stuff, but you know what we're looking for here? We're not exactly looking for where the storm is going to be. We're looking for trends here. And this is exactly what we've been looking for most of the season to see. Wow, look at this. We start to see something over here in the North Central Caribbean as well as the Bahamas as well. So you can see things are really going to start to open up. Another big wave by this point. This is August 24th. So we definitely have to remain very vigilant because we got a couple weeks till that peak right around September 10th, time frame. So yeah, look at this. This is kind of crazy towards the 25th. I'm not calling the model crazy, but it is really interesting to see because, the European has got a pretty good track record for this. Look at this tropical moisture. Could this be a named system here off the southeast coast? Look at out here. We have a number of systems out here that definitely need to bear watching here. So, things are going to start to, what looks like, explode here. This is the last one. This is 240 hours out. I know a lot of forecasters and meteorologists don't like to go this far out, but it gives us a good idea of trends here. It's like darts on a dartboard, so to speak. So if we take a look at the GFS here, these two waves out here are showing up much better here. See the convection going on here and all this tropical moisture. So let's kind of pivot and go on the timeline here. We'll just zoom in just a tad so you can see how this unfolds on the GFS. Showing up pretty prominently here, our first system and then our second system. Second system wanting to bend a little more towards the north as it finds a weakness over here, as well as this system. We'll see. I think this, first system remains weak enough that it kind of bends a little bit more towards the west, although it's going GFS taking it north of guidance and strengthening it, whereas the European model was a bit weaker and further to the west, which I more agree with here. So yeah, our first system, let's just back up and see what happened to it here. So yeah, our first system kind of washed out over here. European kind of had it hanging on and combining forces with our system over here to the west. So we'll keep an eye on it. GFS blowing this up into a hurricane, but you know the GFS. It's notorious for doing this. Very small circulation, though, on the GFS. Now, look at as we get towards the west here. This is towards the 23rd. Look at all that tropical moisture here that was showing up on the European model as well. That's that feature I was circling. Although it is a bit further to the south on the GFS than it is on the European model. So let's just go out a little more time. Look at that. That's a lot of moisture. I would not be surprised if we're looking at this potentially becoming either an invest system or a tropical depression, by this point. So this is something we need to keep an eye on. It's going to bring tremendous rains to Jamaica and the Cayman Islands at this rate because both models are indicating a lot of tropical moisture. And we just go to our last frame here. I want to make note of something here. Look at off the East Coast. So let's just back this up a few frames. This looks like one of those exiting low pressure systems. And I caution you this time of year because if this kind of stalls off the East Coast, it could become either subtropical or tropical. So definitely something to keep an eye on as well. If the GFS holds true and this does become a hurricane, it'll definitely come around this high pressure system like this. Because it will be strong. If it remains weak like the European model, I think we'll see this system kind of meander in this direction, and we may have some problems. So if we take a look at dry air, because I know from past comments on my last video, a lot of you were concerned, is dry air going to be a major issue with these tropical systems? Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say it's not, because it definitely is. You can see across much of the main development region of the Atlantic. This is through Friday, August 18th. We still see a lot of dry air. Still some dry air here into the western and northern part of the Caribbean as well. Now let's see. Here's our two systems here on the European model. This further west system is weaker, further to the south. The second system is stronger and further to the north. But look at this. Here is that main system initializing just west of it, as I showed you on the European model. There it is. There's our next system. So yeah, the European model kind of dance these systems together. Could they actually help scour out a lot of that dry air? Well, they're going to try, but look at that. They're going to be fighting a lot of dry air, more so that this next system, possibly this system behind it by the August 22nd time frame, actually has a fighting chance here. So yeah, this is something we're definitely going to keep an eye on. The dry air has been the trend, but it looks like, that last system there kind of overcoming by about Friday, August 25th, and a lot of this dry air starts to get scoured out. So this is definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Now, as you look at the North Central Caribbean and Eastern Gulf, look what starts to happen too. We start to get a big moisture surge here on the east side of this tropical wave, or what could be a invest system or maybe even a depression by then. So my Caribbean island friends, Latin America, Central America, look at this. So yeah, as we go in time here through the rest of the week, it looks pretty dry across Jamaica, Cayman Islands, a little drier here across the Central America region, but it's next week. Look at August 22nd onward. Look what starts to happen right around Thursday the 24th. Yeah, look at this. So yeah, our tropical wave really showing up here. Parts of Jamaica, especially eastern Jamaica, upwards of 100 millimeters. This would be pushing 3.5 to 4.5 plus inches of rain, maybe locally higher. Look at across Central America here, averaging out to 75 to 100 millimeters. That is a solid 3 to 4 plus inches of rain. Cayman Islands, you're a little bit lower here initially. I think you'll get on the act as well. Now let's go back towards the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico region here. You're pretty dry here for the most part through the rest of the week, but look what starts to happen next week, right around Monday, Tuesday. There it is, Monday the 21st, Tuesday the 22nd. Look at that wave heading through the southern Lesser Antilles here, Trinidad, Tobago area, Grenada here. Yeah, this could be a big deal. Upwards of 70 to 90 millimeters. That's a solid 2.5, close to 3.5 inches of rain. That spirals to the northern part of the Caribbean as we head towards August 25th. And look at that. Yeah, we could be seeing an explosion of rainfall here from the northern Caribbean up to the Bahamas and Florida. And there's our next system. You can see we're just going to start lining up this heavy rain. So as we go into the eastern Pacific here, we had our major Hurricane Fernanda here. Look at this. This is kind of crazy. Yeah, it eventually is going to weaken, thankfully, because look, it is going to become in the vicinity of the big island of Hawaii, but by this point, it's going to be weakening. Let's put this into motion. You can see it's towards August 19th, 20th. You know, this is an El Nino season. I would not be surprised if we get a chance that a hurricane may approach the Hawaiian Islands. This can be very, these kind of years where we have, El Nino kicking in, it can happen. Look what's going on here with our system. This is Greg. It's basically going to fizzle out and go to the southwest here. The good news is it's not going to strengthen, so the pressure gradient here with this high pressure system to the north is not going to cause tremendous winds, that cause those terrible fires that did occur. Now, look what's going on over here. We have a 80% chance through day 2, 90% chance through day 7 here. We do have an invest system. It's going to be paralleling the coastline here. Look at towards the 18th, the 19th. Yeah, this is going to become a hurricane. This is the one I was talking to you about at the beginning of the video. Look at that. Yeah, this is going to become a very formidable hurricane, probably a major hurricane. Look how it continues to parallel the Baja California here, and then it starts going right in the direction here of California. Now, the GFS started this late last week into the weekend, and now the European model is doing this. Look at this. This is right around August 21st, around 8 a.m. This would be a pretty formidable tropical storm moving right up the coast. Now, granted, water temperatures, as you know, are pretty cold here, so this would fizzle pretty quickly as far as tropical, but look how this is holding together. This is of concern because this would produce quite a bit of wind and torrential rains as well, which could cause mudslides in a very short period of time here. So this is definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on. This does not happen very often. Could we have a named storm make landfall? And look at this. It goes all the way up into California and Oregon before fizzling out. So the time frame here is the 21st. So essentially, we have some time to watch. This is next Monday here. And then the Tuesday, the 22nd, into Wednesday, essentially the 23rd. So we're talking about early next week, late weekend, early next week. So please stay tuned. This could be a big deal. So I wanted to go over this system here actually before we do, the Southern California potential system. Let's take a look and see these systems, how close they come. There it is. There is Fernanda coming pretty close to the Hawaiian Islands, just like the European model was, right around. Let's see if I can get the timestamp on this. It's not going to let me. There we go. Right around the 20th. So that makes sense. It will weaken most likely to a depression, but still, it probably will bring some rain, which you do need some rain, but after the fires, you could have some mudslides, which is not a good thing. Now, look at the GFS. This is unanimous agreement here. Look what the GFS does with our system here. Major hurricane, just like the European model. This looks like a carbon copy of the European model. Look how far to the north. This is a big deal. If you live in Southern California, Central California, Northern California, all the way from the coastline inland, this could be a major issue. So please stay tuned. This is something we definitely do not see, as I told you, on the European model very often. And the GFS, it's right on scale here with the European. Look at August 21st. It's a little quicker, though. I do caution you, it is a little quicker because up here, it's already in San Francisco by the 22nd. And it was down here in Los Angeles on the European model on the 21st. So as we get into the Western Pacific here, there's Japan. Here is Lan. So Lan made landfall in Japan, and it's continuing to spin to the north. It won't be much of a factor. It will promote wind and rain along the northern Japanese islands here. But the good news is it will be on its way out. Now, the big deal here is, as we continue in time, you can see, things get a little bit quiet here with the exception for some monsoon-type tropical moisture heading across the Philippine Islands here. Now, we do have another system we're going to have to watch as we get towards the 19th. Here it is. But I don't think at this time it looks like it's going to blow up, tremendously. It does kind of hang out and move towards just south of Tokyo towards the 21st. I do caution you don't see any closed off lows here, but look at the intertropical convergence zone here as we head towards the 21st of August. So there's going to be quite a bit of moisture to work with, and any one of these waves could develop. Now look what we're going to be looking at here. Things have been very active here in the Northwest Pacific around Japan and South Korea. We could have another landfalling tropical storm here by the 23rd, and right in the same area that Lan made landfall, so we could have some flooding concerns as we go across central and northern parts of Japan. So there it is. Look at this. We don't see any one area lighting up here in the intertropical convergence zone until we get towards the 25th of August. Look at this here in the northern Philippines. This could be a big deal. Looks like something is trying to develop. So the Western Pacific, Lan, there it is, GFS on its way out there. Let's see if we have anything showing up on the GFS that we didn't on the European model or any confirmation. Look at this. Yeah, the 22nd of August. Pretty much agreeing with the European model here right around Manila, Philippines on westward. Look at all that tropical moisture. There is that area of low pressure that could become our next tropical storm. I'll just zoom in just a little here, see if we have any issues. Yeah, the GFS taking this system and kind of developing it, so we might actually have a named system over here west and northwest of the northern Philippines as well. So there's a couple areas we need to keep an eye on as we go through the rest of August here. There's that broad area of low pressure kind of weakening here on the GFS. So as we take a look at your HRRR, your future radars, you head through Tuesday night into Wednesday. You see the moisture moving off the East Coast here. You're still stuck with some showers and thunderstorms around the Great Lakes, northern New York, northern New England. And then down along the Carolinas here, look at all the storms here off of the New Jersey and New England coastlines. And then we got some strong to severe storms here just off the coast. So those are going to be exiting off Mobile, parts just west of New Orleans as well. So as we head throughout the night, we're going to see a conglomeration of showers and thunder showers here across the Adirondacks, St. Lawrence Valley, Lake Ontario, eastern Lake Erie region as well. That's going to head through 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. So we'll have a few showers and thunderstorms popping up across the Northeast, but for the most part, this will be very widely scattered as we go into the afternoon hours. So as we take a look at the Southeast, yeah, we're going to start to see some big-time showers and thunderstorms developing from the Carolinas, eastern Georgia. So watch out. Some of these could be strong to severe, but it's not a widespread severe weather outbreak, which is great news because we've had too many of those lately. So we head throughout the evening hours of your Wednesday. Look at this. Showers and thunderstorms continuing across Florida. But look at this. We really clear it out across the Ohio Valley into the Northeast here. Much drier. Florida, we're still holding on to those showers and thunderstorms. Now look at, I caution you because look at this. Yeah, this low pressure, the front starts to stall here, so we'll get a resurgence of moisture as we head throughout the early morning hours of Thursday, August 15th here. Now look what's coming to the northwest here. I caution if you live in Michigan, parts of Indiana, western New York, and northwestern Pennsylvania, later Thursday, because look what starts to happen dropping out of the northwest here. A big old squall line. Some of these could contain damaging wind gusts. That's going to be the main threat as we head towards just west of Detroit around 2 p.m. through the Detroit area between 2 and 3. So yeah, this is the last frame, but after 3 p.m. here, if you live in Toledo, Columbus area, Erie, Buffalo, London, Ontario, Toronto, there could be some big-time thunderstorms with damaging wind and maybe some hail as well, so watch out for that. And I have plenty more weather for you. Don't go anywhere, but here is a quick announcement from my affiliate. Take a look at this. I am proud to announce that I am now an affiliate with Trilogy Maps. TrilogyMaps.com, bringing you the most digital, customizable maps found nowhere else on the internet. These maps are simply stunning. It's an advanced layering system that makes these maps great for making forecast maps with ease or any other maps that you would like to display important information on. The resolution on these maps is simply amazing. From the detail of everything here in the States, and you can also create stunning, digital, professional layered maps from also across the entire world. And don't forget, in checkout, the discount code option, use my code, MeteoMark, hit apply, and you will get 20% off your order. So So if you want the most professional, customizable, and affordable weather maps found nowhere else on the internet, look no further than TrilogyMaps.com. Link in the description down below along with your discount code. And here we go, John from the Islip, New York area over the weekend. Look at what he had to contend with. He said there was a tornado as well as tremendous lightning, as you can see. You can actually hear some of it in the background as well. Take a look at this. Wow, he had quite a stormy time of it, and this was the rule here across much of the Northeast. Nice captures there, John. So taking a look at the European model here, let's take a look and pick up where we left off with the mesoscale models. There's that big system dropping into parts of Ohio. Right around, this would be right around 5, 6, 7 p.m. Northeast Ohio, up to western New York and western Pennsylvania. Looking at a big old squall line with damaging wind, large hail potential. That moves to the east as we head throughout the overnight Thursday night into Friday. Some of these storms may still stay strong in Pennsylvania and New York, but by this time they will have weakened a bit, which is great news. But look at those re-energized throughout the day on your TGIF, your Friday. Look at that across parts of New England. We'll be looking at those storms continuing. This front, look at you can see here this trough, this front kind of running into this stalled out front along the U.S. East Coast. So we're definitely going to have to keep an eye. Here's as we head throughout the weekend here. Look at this. High pressure trying to build in, but you can still see the trough here stuck across much of the Northeast. And your eyes are definitely drawn down here, Baja California. There it is on the European model being drawn up along the coast. Unprecedented. But look at this as we continue to go in time. This is Monday, August 21st. High pressure building across the U.S. East Coast until we start to get a little bit of a low pressure system here. There's that system, our tropical system along the California coast. Definitely pretty rare. Look at, we back up here. Look what's going on here in the Western Gulf. This is something we might have to keep an eye on as well. We got a lot of tropical moisture surging out of the southeast here, and if this kind of hangs around and gets stuck, we could end up having a named storm. It definitely looks like something over here across South Texas. This is right around Wednesday the 23rd. So while we're watching our systems out in the Atlantic, there could be something forming here into the Gulf as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And then as we head towards the 24th, look at what we have here off the coast of Florida and the Bahamas. Could this be, wow. That definitely looks like it could be something definitely to keep an eye on. But look at as we head towards Friday, August 25th. That is a massive high-pressure system over eastern Canada and the Great Lakes region. So if we take a look at liquid precipitation, most of it's going to be along the East Coast here initially, because you can see here, from Florida all the way up to the coastal Carolina region, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches here. Look at here across the eastern Great Lakes as well. Northern Ohio, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Northern New York, the big winter up here, about 1 3/4 inches, upwards of 2 inches in some of these areas. Now, this is through the early part of the weekend. We're just going to add on to it in Florida, 2 to 3 inches on average, especially from central and south Florida. But look at here along the California coast. You cannot ignore this. Look at this. This would be a lot of moisture for that region. So definitely got to keep an eye on mudslide potential high. Here's our big tropical system that was showing up in the European model, the Bahamas. Look at the moisture with this. And as we head with the precipitation totals here into the Northeast as we head through Thursday. So there it is from Tuesday, Wednesday. So most of this is Tuesday night, Wednesday across northern New York here. So there it is, averaging about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. And then we drop that squall line moving through Thursday night into Friday. It's going to be a quick mover, so it's not going to drop as much rain. And then as we head throughout next week, let's see. It stays mostly dry. It looks like the only day you get some moisture will be right around later Wednesday evening into Thursday. And that's mainly across the north country of New York. So temperature-wise here for your Wednesday. It's looking much cooler here across parts of the Tennessee, Northern Mississippi and Ohio River valleys into the northeast. Look at that. We are looking into the 70s. But look at the heat building out west here in the Central Plains. That's going to try to spread a little bit towards the southeast here. It doesn't have much headway making it east. Look at the 70s, another reinforcing shot of cooler air. We do warm it up into the 80s here into parts of the northeast as we get into your Thursday, into your Friday here. Another cool shot behind that squall line. Look at that, 75 in Cleveland, 72 in Rochester. So those are much cooler temperatures, even upper 60s here into parts of the Adirondacks. Baking continuing here into Texas, but watch this as we head into the weekend. Things are going to start to change. A little bit cooler out west here. That's going to push the heat to the Central Plains here, and we're going to start to warm it up a bit into the northeast. Watch this. Temperatures are going to be on the rise as, look at this, upper 80s in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Erie, State College. Yeah, it's definitely going to feel a lot toastier as we head towards Monday, August 21st here. Look at this. We're actually going to be approaching the 90s into parts of Pennsylvania and Ohio. Look at this. Chicago up into the mid-90s. And look at 100s here into the central and northern plains. Extended outlook from hometown viewers. Binghamton to Scranton's upper Susquehanna River Valley of New York and Pennsylvania. Wednesday, we'll have a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm, mainly between about 2 and 8 p.m. Mostly widely scattered. It's not going to be a big deal up towards right around 80. For Thursday, sunny skies, 87. Yeah, it'll feel very summer-like. Friday, Thursday night and Friday, the front approaches from the west. We could have some scattered, so strong, maybe some isolated severe storms. Damaging wind would be the main threat, only making it up to 74 as the front comes through later in the afternoon. For Saturday and Sunday, looks like a beautiful weekend. Get out there and enjoy, because Saturday is double 7, sunny skies into Sunday, 86 and summer-like. As always, thanks for joining me for this edition of MeteoMark's Weather. Take a look at my Facebook page at MeteoMark, also Weather Northeastern, also Hurricane Northeastern to follow the tropics. And if you want to hop over to my Twitter page, it's at Weather Eastern. It's MeteoMark.com. Thanks for joining me. Question or comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted when a video comes out.